Welcome to this explainer. When you picture the United States, your mind probably jumps straight to the familiar cliches, right? The bustling, crowded streets of New York City, the flashing glamour of Hollywood, or maybe the towering Statue of Liberty. But what if I told you that hiding right behind these heavily photographed landmarks are incredible, truly staggering secrets that most people have never even heard of? Today, we are going completely off the beaten path. We're going to uncover hidden facts and unseen wonders of the American landscape that will completely surprise you. We're talking invisible global networks and literal rivers of ice here. Let's change the way you look at the map. Okay, let's dive right into this. Just think about the contrast we're setting up here. On one side, you've got the known USA, the everyday icons that completely dominate movies and postcards. But on the flip side, we have the hidden USA. We are talking about massive, sprawling geography, entirely surprising records, and incredible secrets that define the actual day-to-day reality of the country's landscape. The stark difference between what we see on television and what actually makes up this massive country is exactly what we're going to explore today. So, let's kick things off with Theme 1, America's Massive Natural Wonders. To truly grasp the scale of these secrets, we've got to move way past the dense concrete of the cities and look at the unprecedented, raw scale of American nature. It is vastly larger and wilder than most people ever realize. Just wrap your head around this number, 100,000. That is an absolutely staggering figure. So what does it represent? It's the number of glaciers located in the state of Alaska alone. Not 100, not 1,000, over 100,000 individual glaciers. It's almost hard to picture, right? And these aren't just isolated little patches of ice. They hold massive reserves of the world's freshwater and serve as absolutely crucial regulators for our global climate. People appropriately call them rivers of ice. And the crazy thing is, they aren't just sitting there frozen in place. They're highly active geological powerhouses. For thousands of years, these massive, slow-moving blocks have been violently carving out some of the most breathtaking mountains and deep valleys on Earth. They are literally the architects of the Alaskan landscape we see today. Now, from the freezing rivers of ice in Alaska, we're going to travel thousands of miles to Hawaii. What makes Hawaii totally unique is that it's the only U.S. state made entirely of islands. And these aren't just any regular islands. They were violently forged by intense volcanic activity deep in the Pacific Ocean. Because of this fiery origin, Hawaii is home to both some of the world's most beautiful beaches and incredibly active volcanoes. It's literally a land born from fire. In fact, because of this continuous volcanic activity, the big island of Hawaii is actually still growing in size every single year. Moving from the isolated Pacific Islands straight into the American heartland, we hit a completely different kind of natural giant, the mighty Mississippi. This isn't just your average river. It is one of the world's absolute greatest river systems, pulsing right through the very center of the country. And get a load of the scale on this giant, 2,340 miles or over 3,700 kilometers. But the crucial takeaway here is that this staggering length isn't just some geographical trivia fact. By flowing straight through the heart of America, the Mississippi has played a major foundational role in the country's history. It dictated early trade routes and served as a massive transportation highway way before roads were ever paved. And today, it still carries hundreds of millions of tons of vital freight each and every year, acting as an indispensable economic artery. But these natural wonders aren't just distant glaciers or massive commercial rivers. They're actually incredibly accessible to everyday people. Check out this next number. 10,000. The country offers more than 10,000 state and local parks. This massive network gives millions of people unbelievably easy access to hike, camp, and experience lakes, forests, and wildlife, often just a short drive from their homes. Take the Valley of Fire in Nevada with its blazing red sandstone formations as just one example. It's essentially built-in infrastructure for nature. Moving right along, that brings us to Theme 2, Preserving the American Past. The pursuit of adventure, the rush for wealth, and the blending of unique cultures always leaves behind some truly fascinating things. And human history in the USA is captured in ways you might not expect. Here is a number that absolutely blew my mind when I first read our sources: 35,000. There are more than 35,000 museums across the United States. This represents an unmatched variety of historical and cultural preservation. Honestly, no other country in the world has such an overwhelmingly huge variety of museums dedicated to safeguarding its past. And that massive number brilliantly illustrates just how incredibly diverse that preservation really is. On one end of the spectrum, sure, you have these massive, pristine, world-famous art galleries. But on the exact opposite end, you have tiny, ultra-niche museums dedicated to the most surprisingly specific things, like bananas or even barbed wire. Which, let's be honest, sounds like a museum where you really want to watch your step. It really shows a deep-seated desire to preserve every single facet of the human experience, no matter how quirky it might be. Now, speaking of the human experience, you simply can't talk about American history without talking about the road. Route 66 is easily one of the most famous highways in all of human history. Stretching all the way from Chicago, Illinois to California, it became so much more than just a paved road connecting 2 points. It became the ultimate global symbol of adventure, of boundless freedom, and of the classic, deeply nostalgic American road trip. But what happens when the adventure ends? Nestled deep in the mountains and scattered along those old routes are thousands of abandoned ghost towns. Many of these were hastily built during intense gold and silver rushes. But when the mines inevitably dried up and closed, the people just packed up and left. What they left behind are entire towns totally frozen in time. Walking through them today is like stepping directly into a photograph from the 1800s, complete with swinging saloon doors and empty main streets. All right, on to our final chapter, Theme 3, Epic Skill and Innovation. For our final theme in this explainer, we're shifting gears from the past to the present. We're going to look at modern human feats, massive agricultural dominance, and the technological innovation that silently powers the globe. Let's start with engineering. Did you know the United States is home to the world's largest office building? And it's not some sleek skyscraper reaching into the clouds in New York or Chicago. It's a massive, geometric structure in Virginia, the Pentagon. To really wrap your head around why it's the largest, look at this figure, 6.5 million. That is 6.5 million square feet of floor space. The sheer scale is almost impossible to comprehend until you realize that thousands upon thousands of employees work inside this single building every single day. It is essentially a self-contained city of offices. In fact, it has so many corridors that if you walked them all, you'd cover over 17 miles. Yet its brilliant, interconnected design lets you walk between any 2 points in the entire building in under 7 minutes. How crazy is that? Now, what's really interesting here is how that exact same epic scale applies to agriculture. California grows more food than any other U.S. state. Just take a look at this incredible list. Almonds, grapes, strawberries, oranges, lettuce, and that is barely scratching the surface. California produces huge amounts of these crops, and they aren't just heading to local supermarkets, they are shipped around the entire world. It is a massive global harvest engine that directly sustains economies and dinner tables globally. Finally, let's look at a hidden wonder that you literally can't even see on a map, mainly because it is silently hovering way up in space. The USA helped develop the Global Positioning System, or GPS. It's a completely invisible technology with a massive, undeniable global footprint. Just think about how this affects almost everyone on Earth. Billions, with a B, of people use GPS every single day. I mean, you probably used it today without even thinking about it. It powers global navigation, runs the background apps on our smartphones, directs emergency services to save lives, and coordinates vast networks of transportation all around the world. A hidden American technological wonder is literally guiding humanity right now. So from 100,000 rivers of ice and fiery expanding island chains to towns completely frozen in time and invisible signals guiding our phones, the real landscape of America is far more complex, impactful, and fascinating than the standard tourist postcard. So I'll leave you with this question. Which of these hidden facts surprised you the most? Take a moment to think about it and let it encourage you to look a little closer at the hidden world all around you. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I will see you next time.